Yo, what's going on guys? Welcome back to bringing the Vision video. What I've got today is my one-shot PvP/PvE build. Now yes, for anyone that doesn't know, this is a 6-piece classified Hunter's Faith build, and in my opinion, this is hands down one of the most fun builds in the game right now. If you are a sniper rifle player and that's the only gun you use, this is definitely a build you want to make. If you don't have this, I would recommend grinding until you get it because it's so much fun and it just pretty much shreds anyone in its sights. But anyways, I wanted to make a video, show you guys what I rolled on it. Unfortunately, I couldn't get really the god roll gear, I would say, that I wanted, but I still have the 6-piece, and my rolls are not perfect, I would say, but they are to a point where I'm pretty satisfied, although, as I said, I do not have anything god roll. The build is still very, very good. Anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video or find it helpful, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe for more videos, and let's get right into this. So the first thing I do want to show you guys are my abilities. So really quickly, I'm using a tactical scanner with a booster shot and also a recovery link. The main point of using these skills is not for healing, it's not to survive any longer. The main point of using this is to do as much damage as possible. As you guys know, with this, you won't have that much stamina, you won't have that much skill power, so using this for healing and anything else besides damage is kind of useless. As for the talents, I'm using Critical Save, Strike Back, Tactical Advance, and I'm also using One is None. In my opinion, this is the best kind of combination for your talents for a sniper rifle build. One is None is really good, especially if you're going for headshots, and also Tactical Advance will give you a little bit more damage if you go cover to cover. Anyways, as for the build, this is what I'm rocking with. So yes, this is a heavily invested firearms build. In my opinion, going to stamina or electronics with this build is kind of useless because you want as much damage, and in order to achieve that, you have to have everything with firearms, with your mods, gear rolls, whatever you're using. You want to have as much firearms as possible. So really quickly, for my weapon, I'm using a M700 carbine. You guys can use something like a M44 or even a normal M700. But the reason I'm using this is because I have a lot of headshot damage on this. It's sitting at 172%. And also for the talents, I'm using Prepared, Brutal, and Deadly. In my mind, this is the best kind of combination of talents for my playstyle. If you guys play a little bit more passive, I would say, using something like Elevated might be a better choice for you, but for me, these talents kind of work out the best for my playstyle. As for the weapon mods, I'm mainly spec'd into critical hit damage and headshot damage. Nothing really new here. As you guys can see, everything with my scope, my suppressor, is pretty much headshot damage, and the rest is critical hit damage. As for the secondary, I did go with the showstopper, and I really wanted a weapon where if I get rushed by a NPC or a actual real player, I wanted a weapon where I could kind of defend myself and not just get folded if I miss my shots, whatever the case is. The showstopper, in my opinion, is one of the best choices. As you guys know, in this patch it got buffed, and you know, it just does a lot of damage, so you guys can pretty much use whatever you want as your secondary, but for this, I'm using the showstopper. Moving on to the main part of the video, that is the gear and what I have rolled on it. So really quickly, for the vest, I'm using firearms, health on kill, enemy armor damage, and ammo capacity. Ideally, you would want skill haze and enemy armor damage on this type of build. Unfortunately, my luck kind of sucks, so I can't get that. And also, if you guys are asking why I don't have health on this, in my opinion and in my mind, you're already squishy. You only have about 3,000 stamina, so you're gonna get folded anytime someone rushes you or whatever the case is. So you might as well not waste the health roll on your chest piece and get something like enemy armor damage and skill haze, so you can do a little bit more damage. For the mods, I'm actually using 2 firearms and critical hit chance mods, and in my opinion, there's only 2 mods or 2 types of mods you can use for this build. It's either critical hit chance or skill haze, because you can benefit a little bit more from skill haze from using your skills a little bit more often and frequently, which will allow you to do a little bit more damage. But critical hit chance is what I went with because I want to crit as much as possible, especially in PvP. If you crit 99% of the time, it is going to be a one-shot kill. For the mask, I'm using firearms, critical hit chance, damage to leads, and then once again, I do have a firearms and critical hit chance mod. For the knee pads, I do have firearms, critical hit damage, disrupt resistant, blindside death resistance, and also damage to leads. The same case with this is the same case with the vest I showed you guys. You don't want health on this because you're squishy already, and using critical hit damage does have a better benefit, I would say, with this build. For the mods, once again, I'm using a firearms and critical hit chance, and then I'm also using a 2% pulse critical hit damage. Anytime I use my pulse, I will have a little bit more critical hit damage, just so I can one-shot and pretty much have a better chance of one-shotting any player in the dark zone. For the backpack, we do have firearms, critical hit damage, ammo capacity, and then once again a firearms critical hit chance mod with 2 pulse critical hit damage mods. For my gloves, I'm using firearms, marksman rifle damage, enemy armor damage, and critical hit damage. Ideally, you would want critical hit chance on this instead of enemy armor damage, but once again, my luck wasn't really the best with the gloves, so I'm using what I have. Lastly, for the holster, you guys want to go with critical hit chance. In my opinion, there's nothing really better to go with. Maybe except skill haste. You guys can kind of find skill haste a little bit useful as well. But as I said, in my opinion, critical hit chance is the way to go. So yeah, that's pretty much the build. As I said, this is a one-shot PvP/PvE build. As long as you guys can hit your headshots for either game mode, you will be one-shotting anyone you see. The final thing I do want to show you guys are my character stats. I do understand everyone's always curious about this. So for the weapon damage, I'm sitting at 166,000, 22% critical hit chance, 103% critical hit damage, 240% headshot damage, which is pretty insane. That's a lot of headshot damage, I'm not gonna lie. Lastly, for my health, I'm sitting at 198,000, which is very, very low, but that's something you kind of expect with having this much firearms. So as I said, I'm really squishy, but the damage output on this is insane. And if you're a sniper rifle type of player, this is definitely a build you want to make. Anyways, that is it for the video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any questions, feel free to ask in the comment section below. I respond to all my comments. But once again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.
Whipping all this double bitty chopper. We fuck all you bitches.